What is up, everyone in the trenches? Game On, a sports podcast for everyone. Johnny the Box can't make it tonight. Kelly and myself, we're going to go to knock out the running backs that you should be looking at in this year's fantasy draft. And also, Alvin Kamara, rumors about him getting traded. And Leonard Fournette, released by the Jags, and now is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Stay tuned right after this. Alvin Kamara talk. Is he going to be traded, Kelly? What do you think? Where's he going?
Ooh, boy. For any team who gets him, it is a jewel. Of course, I would love for the Kansas City Chiefs to get him. If the Kansas City Chiefs land him, that opens up Andy Reid's offense even more.
No bad juju are here. I already drafted Clyde first overall. They don't need Alvin Kamara. Tell him to stay his ass in the Saints.
No, sir. I mean, in the Andy Reid offense or Philadelphia Eagles offense, Kamara could fly.
That would be nice, yeah. Philadelphia Eagles would be a nice fit for that, man. Yes, sir. Also, Fournette, cut, released. It looked like everyone's draft pick or fantasy year might have started on the wrong foot, but he went from in a real bad situation to a real good situation. Ends up going to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady, Gronkowski, Mike Evans, that offensive line, that defense, and now you add Leonard Fournette. Now, he hasn't played all 16 games. Coach Kelly, what do you think? How do you see this? Do you think Tampa now the team to beat in the NFL?
If the Saints trade Alvin Kamara, it's going to be a shootout in the South, and the Buccaneers can possibly fight strongly for that NFC South title. In addition, with them obtaining Fournette in the deal, they get a solid in between tackle runner that will be a good rotation with Barber in that backfield. So they have a dynamic 1-2 punch.
Who do you take first overall? Who do you got first overall? Who is your running back choice?
Oh man, that is a tough decision. It would depend on where my fantasy draft number is. If I was 1 or 2, I think this season I would go Saquon Barkley. But late round, in the deep league, 12-man league, if Kamara was there late, I would try to get him.
Even with the doubt of if he's going to be in New Orleans?
I would take a chance on that. That guy's dynamic. Any team he goes to, he is a major plus for that team's roster.
That is true. Kamara had 171 attempts and 797 yards last year, and he finds the end zone plenty. So he's one of those pick and plug guys. Like, you pick him and you don't have to worry about anything in your lineup. You know that's your number one running back. No matter who he's playing, you're going to start that man because he's in too good of a team and he's too talented to bench. I mean, you're going to bench Kamara? Who are you going to bench Kamara for?
Right.
Come on now.
Not for Latavius Murray. I'll tell you that.
And I traded a third-round pick for Latavius Murray 1 year, so that pick quickly went down the drain. Christian McCaffrey, would you take him? Let's say you have the third overall pick, and he's still there. Let's in a crazy world, he's there at number 3. You have to take Christian McCaffrey, right?
I don't. I pass on him.
You're going to pass on. Why do you pass on? I mean, come on, look at his numbers. Like, his numbers, 1,387 yards. That's wild. I mean, he has big plays. He's going to give you those extra points for those like over 50-yard plays. He's a big play running back. But why do you pass on him then?
From what I've seen in Christian McCaffrey, a lot of his fantasy points comes from plays by design. I mean, they almost force a square through a circle hole to make sure he gets in the end zone. So his plays by design, it's always McCaffrey. Red zone is McCaffrey. Short yardage, McCaffrey. I mean, he is a dynamic athlete and everything, but for him to repeat at that level of excellence what he had last season and the season before that, I don't see it in Carolina. I think this year for him will be a downward regression for him. I'm not too sure of his injury history, but I don't think he's been injured too much. So
he's usually healthy.
Yeah, so statistically wise, those odds are highly in his favor for him missing 2-3 games this season, just for nagging injuries. When we go to talk about our other players, I have someone else too who I'm staying away from because of potential injuries during the season. Running back is a brutal position, very brutal position in the NFL. So, I mean, for him to continue to play at the high level, it takes a whole lot. The kid has been proven to be tough coming out of college, and his transition to the NFL has been very successful. But I think as that offense changes in Carolina, I think his roles and his numbers are going to change also.
Yeah. And another thing is who's taking the attention away from that guy. That's something you have to look for, especially if you're picking your first running back and you're picking that high in a draft. Like it's hard to say anyone else other than him. And I know people are like, "Oh my God, another fantasy talk," and we always talk about the same 5 guys and this and that, but like. It's important that can make or break your season. It literally will make or break your season. If you miss that, if you make a mistake on that first overall or that second overall, woo boy! First off, you're gonna hear from everyone, and everyone's be talking shit about you. So
yes.
On top of that, your record's gonna go down the drain because you're missing. It's a big part of your team. He doesn't have the people around him. All the attention is going to be on him. And he's going to give you production. And yes, he's one of those guys that you put in, you don't even have to think about that. Sunday, Christian McCaffrey, no matter what. You have to be maybe against a real tough defense, like a real tough defense. You might play a matchup. Let's say you have a Nick Chubbs, as your third running back, which I don't know what type of league you're in. If Nick Chubbs is your third running back, but and I'm sure it happens. And you plug in Nick Chubbs over Christian McCaffrey on a good week, maybe you might win there. But, Saquon Barkley, I think, is the way to go this year. Yeah. First overall, I think for everyone, it's a no-brainer. Saquon Barkley's in the best situation. He has more weapons around him. They drafted 2 offensive linemen to help open up holes for him even more. Daniel Jones is going into his second year. He already has experience. And his numbers don't lie, like everyone says. He had 1,000 yards rushing, and his long was 68 yards. So he's going to give you the big play ability, and he's going to be a consistent running back that you can start every week no matter what, and he's going to give you big games.
Definitely. I definitely agree.
What do you think about Ezekiel Elliott? I know we haven't touched about it. We haven't – every time someone brings up Ezekiel Elliott, it's usually drama, but we won't talk about that right now. We'll talk about how good he is on a football field. Where do you pick him?
Ezekiel Elliott, to me, is a top 5 fantasy back. Of course, a dynamic O-line in Dallas will block for him all day. The receiver core he has in tight end, as long as that pass game is clicking, he'll be running well.
Okay, yeah, I mean, that's true. And he has a bunch of receivers around him. So, I mean, everyone's successful in the Dallas Cowboys when it comes to running back. They can put you at running back in Dallas, and I'll draft you in the 4th round.
I think so. And I'll guarantee our fans 12 touchdowns in the season.
Yo, write that down, Kelly. 4th round pick. Let's go. Yo, championship.
Easy.
What do you think? What do you think about Clyde? How worth it is it? We'll get into the rookies a little bit. How worth is like how much is he worth taking? How high are you going to take him, or how much are you going to wait to try to take that guy, or do you think he's
Uh,
gone in the first round?
I don't think he's a first rounder. Mid to late second round, third round guy, definitely he is. Um, it's a week to week situation with him, and who's injured, who's not. The game plan for the week, a lot goes into thinking about Clyde and the offensive system he's in. It's usually a running back by committee. I don't think there is no standout back on that team yet.
Well, Damian
So
Williams isn't there.
yeah, and, who is the other running back there?
It was Damian Williams and damn, he threw a curveball at me. I don't even know his name.
Yeah. But anyways, usually with Andy Reid, it's a running back by committee. So I don't think he'll put all the load on him because in Andy Reid's system, that running back has to know how to block also. And a lot of times, rookie running backs they don't come in the best pro blockers.
All right, that is true. The guy's super talented though. You
Yeah.
think you think they're still gonna do that running back by committee stuff over there?
I
They're not
think
just giving him the bean. I mean,
I,
When Kareem Hunt was there his rookie year,
uh
1,327 yards and
but they
11
are
touchdowns.
but they had other running backs also there to support him also in certain situations.
All right,
So
all
yeah.
right, all right. I'm just trying to talk on my pick. Sorry, I'm happy I took him first overall.
Hey.
It's a keepers league. Everyone
Convince yourself.
relax. Relax. It's not like I passed on Christian McCaffrey to take him. He wasn't there. He was first overall in a dynasty league, so it is what it is. It's a good pick. Another rookie, Cam Akers. We touched him a few episodes ago. I know you don't like him, but I mean, is he a sleeper? He's a rookie.
Uh
We all know what Todd Gurley did over there in the
mhm,
Rams when he was there.
mhm.
No, I'm not saying Cam Akers is a Todd Gurley, but I mean he has a talent. You know, he made gold out of a real bad situation in FSU.
Yeah, but to me,
You just pass it on because you're you're
I,
haters.
I, I mean, can't in an ideal situation, Cam Akers might be great, but going to the Rams and the questionable offensive line, I think he's going to look a lot like how he did at Florida State. He'll have some bright spots here and there, but for the most part, he'll be getting punished at
All
the
right.
line of scrimmage, if not in the backfield.
So stay away from Cam Akers. You heard it.
Yes.
All right. And not because he's a Seminole, but just stay away from him. Who else? The Denver trio, the Denver Broncos. Melvin Gordon was a big signing. You know, in fantasy, you're going to take Melvin Gordon, you know, as he's a top 10 running back. You know, I mean, you're going to take him second, third rounds, maybe be a backup. If you're not able to get, you know, like a top five running back, and then maybe a receiver run starts happening, and you might be stuck getting a guy like Melvin Gordon, or you pick a better player, whoever's there at the board. You don't have to pick a running back for your first pick. I know, surprise, surprise. But Melvin Gordon, is he worth taking that high, considering the fact that he has Philip Lindsay next to him, and he's going to be splitting carries, and it's three of them. So, are you staying away from those three guys?
um, just kind of how Melvin Gordon has been in training camp. You know, coming in saying that he's not used to the altitude in Denver and practice, and he's short on breath or whatever. That might be true, but I mean, you know, I mean, for as long as Denver has been in, the Broncos have been in Denver, the stadium and the city has always been the same, and professional athletes know what to expect when they go into Denver. I kind of question his conditioning coming into camp, as much as he's complaining about the air in Denver. I mean, you have, large offensive linemen, 280, 290, 300 some pound guys, and you don't hear the media or the guys talk about them as much, complaining about the thin air in Denver. Philip Lindsay, I mean, he's a solid running back to look out for as a sleeper. 1,000 yards the first 2 years of his career, over 1,000 yards. I mean, this guy is averaging 4.9 yards a carry. If Philip Lindsay was on another team, he probably would be a quality starter. But I think he's a great flex option for you because he is going to take a lot of that load off of Melvin Gordon.
He is. He's going to be Gordon. I think in the depth charts, Gordon's a starter, but he's definitely going to take a lot of Gordon's carries. So I think to me, those two guys are players that you wait for. I don't think anyone's going to be shooting for Philip Lindsay 5th, 6th, 7th rounds. There's better running backs out there. There's better receivers out there. You might take a chance with another receiver. It all depends who you take in those first few picks.
Yes.
So, but I wouldn't chase Philip Lindsay if I'm anyone. Like if he's there and he's the right pick at the time and the ADP, the ADP agrees with it, go ahead. But just be careful with don't think he's going to get the same production because he's not. He's splitting carries now with Melvin Gordon, and those are probably guys to stay away from. Sony Michel is an interesting pick. Where would you take a guy like Sony Michel? He has a production, but the situation in New England has changed. But they're still going to use the running backs like always, and he's the number one guy there. How much production do you think Sony Michel is? Where would you take him in a draft?
I hate to give you this secret about New England and their running backs. I really do.
I know, because I'll probably draft him.
But with that being said, I think Sony Michel is another guy who he can carry a load. I mean, he's a solid between the tackle running back, but injuries plague this guy. And for him to miss time due to injuries gives other running backs a chance to kind of earn the favor of Belichick. What's the guy? I'm having a brain freeze.
The other running back?
What's his name? Burkhead?
Burkhead? Is it Burkhead? Oh my God, sorry. No, James White?
No, Burkhead, the fullback.
Burkhead, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's Rex Burkhead. But I mean, I kind of look to him this season to get a lot of red zone shots in goal line situations, short yardage situations, right there on the goal line. I look to him to get a lot of touchdowns. So Michel might rack up a few yards, 80 yards, 90-yard games, maybe 30, 70 yards receiving. But his touchdown number is going to be low because I think they'll put Burkhead down in the red zone, and he'll get those looks.
He could be a good flex on occasion. He could be a good flex running back if you have no one else there. Mm-hmm. He might be your best running back, maybe. I hope not. Sorry if he is your best running back. That sucks. I would trade the house for any other running back, I guess. But I mean, what else in running backs? Who are you looking for? I'm trying to get into your head because in the last draft I already took Ruggs because you told me to take Ruggs and I took Ruggs. Don't give me too much information now.
I won't.
Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell is another one. We haven't touched on Le'Veon Bell. I don't like talking about Le'Veon Bell. I don't like talking about the Jets at all, but we'll talk about him.
Right. And on my notes, I got throw up all over that section.
It's a Titanic waiting to sink, or we're talking about if you're going to take the run. But someone has to produce in that team. It has to be Le'Veon Bell.
Well. At the same time, too, no one has to produce, and the Jets just get hammered all season long, too.
That's brutal.
So, I mean, what can I say? Adam Gase, horrible coaching with Adam Gase. I mean, I think something recently came out where Adam Gase released a statement saying Le'Veon Bell may have tweaked his hamstring in practice, and Le'Veon Bell went to Twitter and said, "Ain't nothing wrong with my hamstring." I mean, I mean that right there is just the madness that surrounds Adam Gase. I mean,
It's the beginning of a beautiful season for
right?
the Jets.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is just awful. What Adam Gase goes to teams and destroys teams. I mean, he is a destroyer of teams, and
Yeah, bro, that guy's gonna hate us.
hey, well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Frank Gore has come there to the Jets, and Gase has talked up Frank Gore. Frank Gore is the ageless athlete. I mean, he continues to do well. So, I mean, with Frank Gore in the favor of Adam Gase, look for Le'Veon Bell looks to get lowered also. So definitely stay away from him.
I'm trying to find something funny to say about Frank Gore, but there's nothing funny to say about that guy. He has a stud. He's still in the league. We're talking about Frank Gore taking carries away from Le'Veon Bell right now.
Yeah, definitely.
That just shows how good he is.
Yeah. Didn't he go to Columbus High School?
I believe he went to Coral Gables.
Okay. Yeah, Coral Gables. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he went to Gables, and then he went to the U, of course. He's a Hurricane.
Yeah.
That's we all know. We all know it's all about the youth.
Yeah.
And he's still producing. God,
yes.
Frank Gore. Are you taking Frank Gore this draft? Super late? Like super late? Are you going to risk that? In a super deep league, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. In a 12-man or deeper league, I would consider Gore.
Okay. I think Gore's a free agent in my league, actually. He didn't get drafted. He might have gotten drafted a bunch of Miami boys, so maybe. I almost drafted. You know who I almost drafted? And it's just to end the episode. I almost drafted DJ Dallas, just because, but he's not playing. When I went to go look at, because I thought that he has talent in a team that likes to run the ball. Like another sleeper is probably Carlos Hyde. And Seattle loves to run the ball, and they do have like 3 or 4 players or like 3 or 4 running backs. Sorry, but Carlos Hyde is that proven veteran guy there, so he might get a lot of touches. But DJ Dallas would have been explosive in that team.
Deadly. But Carlos Hyde is more of a straight at you between the tackle runner, and if they could get that type of Marshawn Lynch type runner out of Carlos Hyde, he may be a decent fantasy pickup.
I mean, I kept him. I'll put it that way. I kept him in my keepers league. He ended up being last season. I traded for him. And he ended up being my number 1 guy because all my running backs were garbage. Kerryon Johnson was hurt. Kareem Hunt.
Done.
It's Kareem Hunt. And, I ended up having to trade for like a 5th round pick for Carlos Hyde. So I did it. And he ended up giving me some points. That's a good thing about having a guy like Patrick Mahomes on your team that could carry your team and give you massive points every week, so you don't need to be super strong in every position. Yeah, I'm not saying draft Patrick Mahomes first overall. Relax, everyone. What I'm saying, if you're going to take a quarterback, we'll get to that conversation in another episode. But it's the number 1 guy. Coach Kelly, you got anything else for running backs to tell our audience who is your biggest sleeper must-have player that's not the top 10 guys?
Oh, man. And my biggest sleeper this season is going to be Henry Ruggs. And if you all watched if you all watched our AFC West show, I did say that Henry Ruggs I felt was the best receiver in the draft. And with breaking news coming out that Tyrell Williams is done for the season, and reports that Ruggs has quickly learned John Gruden's offense, I think Henry Ruggs is going to have a big season his rookie year. He's going to come in like many other Alabama players and shake the NFL up, and you can look for him on Sunday nights, Monday morning highlights.
Well, there you have it, everyone. In the Trenches, Game On, sports podcast for everyone. Fantasy running back talk. Next up, there's a little preview to the wide receiver fantasy talk. Coach Kelly, any closing words before we get out of here?
Stay away from Derrick Henry.
Stay away from Derrick. God, that's the way you're gonna end the episode.
Yes, stay away from Derrick Henry. Do not get him.
Woo! All right, guys. Good night.